two, one, five, four, three, two, one. All right, give me a bio about yourself. Tell me who you are, a little bit about yourself.
A little bit about myself. Remember, I need to be more specific.
Come on, just roll with me. We can work with it.
You got to be more specific. My name is Corey Mack. I'm from Riverside, California. My family is from Los Angeles and also Texas. And we've since migrated to Las Vegas.
Okay. So you play sports. What kind of sports do you play?
Well, I specialize in basketball. Originally, as a youngster, I started off with gymnastics, in fact, which gave me a good foundation for the other sports. Also, I did a little soccer work, some t-ball, a little bit of everything, to be totally honest with you. I picked up basketball very late, as far as my adolescence was concerned, probably around about 12 years old. I really picked up the basketball for the first time.
Okay. All right. So this is pretty much about your clinic. So this all came from, what is the concept? Let's talk about how you came up with the concept of Basketball Matrix. You got hurt. What happened? Go ahead and go and explain just how things started to turn for you. It changed.
Well, originally basketball really wasn't my sport. I was really into cross country and track and field. I sustained basically a career-ending injury, which was called a bipatella split. Basically, I split my kneecap in half. That pretty much took me out of commission, where I wasn't able to walk for quite some time, a number of months, and it was a slow rehab process coming back. During that time, I did quite a bit of research as far as literature, as far as film and footage, watching live television, basically doing my homework as far as basketball is concerned, and learning the ins and outs, the strategies, the nuances, little tips and tricks that everybody doesn't necessarily pay attention to. When you're forced to slow down, you're forced to look at the small details. There was a player by the name of Tim Hardaway, a popular player in the 90s. When he went to Golden State, he was about my size, around 6 feet. He was actually probably the fastest player in the league at that particular stage, and considered to be the second best point guard behind Magic Johnson. Well, in the coming years, Tim Hardaway sustained what they consider to be a career-ending injury to his knee, which basically took him from being the fastest point guard in the league to the slowest. Forced with that situation, he became really ineffective, and went from an all-star to basically someone who didn't even start anymore. Pat Riley got a hold of Tim Hardaway basically when he was either getting ready to go out of the league or basically disappear into the league.
So basically, these are concepts that you came. This what made you motivate yourself into writing about this whole thing. Basically, writing and started reading and studying b-ball, and you were rehabbing at the same time, right? So kind of go into that. How you started to come into the matrix, the basketball matrix from there.
Well, honestly, I didn't do a lot of writing at this point. At this point, I was young. I was in high school.
Hold on. You don't want to do it like that, okay? You got to kind of say the question a little bit so we can leads into what you're talking about. So basically,
You didn't ask a direct question.
okay. Well, I'm sorry. All right. So you started. How did you come up with the concept of the basketball matrix at this point in time in your life? What prompted this?
You mean, was there a defining moment
Yes.
that made me understand?
Yes.
There was. I was in college,
Okay, hold on. You want to lead into like, I guess my defining moment is, you know, go ahead, and we'll try it, see how it goes.
When I was in college, I managed to rehab my knee and be able to play at a good enough level to where I was able to go on a basketball scholarship to a small school in New York, upstate New York. When I was there, during my first year, I was watching some older footage of Michael Jordan, and Jordan performed a move that was actually traveling. It was a violation of the rules, but it seemed that no one saw it. The crowd didn't see it. None of the 3 referees saw it. No one on the floor saw it. In fact, the millions of people at home didn't see it, but I happened to catch it. And so, you know, I asked a friend of mine to rewind the tape, and from that particular move, I started to realize that there was an outer level of skill that everybody wasn't necessarily aware of. And Michael Jordan was the beginning of that thought process for me, in order to maybe try to explain it in a tangible way and be able to put it down on paper so that I could share it.
Okay, good. You starting to sweat? I'm glad that happened. So you want to take that right now? We're still recording. Don't worry about it. We'll cut all this out.
Still recording right now?
Yep. Sure. It's gotta be a 10-second roll. All right. So you're saying it's not the questions are too what?
They're too broad.
Too broad. I keep doing it. Don't know why I keep doing it. So after you got hurt, okay, you talked about how you studied the game a little bit better. Studied, you know what I'm saying, people's game in the NBA. And we're going back into it. So how did you come up with the matrix from this? So basically finish where you started and come with the matrix. Talk about the matrix, basketball matrix.
Well, I did study each one of the great players. I went and studied their exact body movements. It's easier to learn that because of gymnastics. Gymnastics is a study of body movement, balance, trajectory, momentum, different things like that. Those are some of the philosophies and ideals that can help you understand other sports. So I applied some of my gymnastics, experience to basketball and started to relate that somewhat to some of the great players. And as my studies continued, I consider myself someone who likes to gather knowledge to myself. I started to apply other things. I spent quite a few years studying in martial art, and that was definitely applicable as far as basketball is concerned. Also, there was some study of the other sciences of life, basically physics. I mean, in its essence, it pretty much covers what you're doing in basketball. There's a formula in physics for just about everything that you're doing as far as basketball is concerned. So it was the combination of these elements that kind of came together to create the matrix.
Okay, we want to say the basketball matrix. Don't say the matrix. So kind of go back a little bit. Let's say the basketball matrix. Go ahead and say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Well, I started to utilize my former experience and tried to apply that to the basketball court. I was so slow at this point and so injured that I wasn't able to do naturally all the things I was able to do previously. So I had to learn to calculate my footsteps. I had to learn to be more considerate of every movement because I wasn't able to waste any movement. Gymnastics is a great forum to help you understand the basketball matrix and the different things that happen within, because of the fact that there's so many other factors that are involved, such as balance, such as coordination, such as momentum. Those different elements combine, with a lot of different things to create the ideal basketball situation.
Okay, all right. So Okay, that was good. How does that feel to you? Feel a little bit better, or are you still thinking it's broad questions?
No, that's more specific. That's
Okay.
better.
All right. All right. Okay, you talk about martial arts. Let's go, let's go, let's go. I'm gonna stop tape and I'm gonna find a different camera.
But you're the interviewer. I'm not
Yeah.
just gonna just
Relax.
bust out into a jar.
Hey, this is all
Are you taping right now?
Yeah, we're recording right now.
Oh,
Relax,
man.
baby, relax. We're just using this. We're just using this for having a little fun, man. This is all footage, baby.
Yeah, we can have
It's all footage. I'm proud, man. I'm proud of you, dude, for the things you've been through in life. You know what I'm saying? And you've been through a lot. We've known each other since we were little kids, man. You know what I'm saying? And the things that you do now, I'm proud of you. You know what I'm saying?
Appreciate that, man.
All right.
A lot of this has brought me through. This is really where, I mean, that's really has a lot to do with it. The way I came up, honestly, you know, my home was a broken home. It was broken. And I couldn't even really be there and be able to operate effectively even as a child. So I had to find some kind of way to release and get away. You can't play football by yourself. That's not going to work out. You can't play baseball by yourself. Basketball was the only thing I could do that I could do by myself, me and my ball. So I would go. I come home, I get my chores done, I get my customary whatever I was getting, yelled at, punched in the face, whatever it was, and then I'd be right to the park. I'd be right to the park, I'd be out there for hours, and I wasn't any good. It was something that grew on me, and I was able to release that physical energy within me. And it was there that I started to grasp some of the concepts like kinetics. Kinetics are very important when it comes to basketball. The ability of stored energy through movement, the way that energy, affects other things through movement is very important. And as far as emotion and things like that, I was able to release a lot of those negative thoughts, bad energy through kinetics and through basketball. And that's where the basketball matrix was really born.
That's what's up. That sounded great. That sounded real good. Real good. All right. Let's go into It's gonna be a good one. I like this one. I love this part of it. Let's go about the stages. Let's see. Keep it rolling. That's how we do. We keep it real. Keep it real, son. Keep it real.
When they start shooting, we don't stop the music. Keep it moving. That's how we do it.
Keep shooting.
Been through, what'd he say?
Who was that?
Been through drama like the Baldwins. They still stalling. Oh, that's Mobb Deep for you.
What y'all know about Mobb Deep? Hold on, let me get in this. What y'all know about Mobb Deep?
Yeah.
What y'all know about that?
Yeah,
Nothing.
Little mob on you.
Nothing.
Nothing about that.
Nothing about that. Nothing about that. Nothing.
Little mob on you from my East Coast roots. Spent a little time over in the East Coast. That's really relevant. Because you know what? East Coast basketball and West Coast basketball are totally different. And it doesn't appear to be different to the naked eye. But the people who really study it and know it realize there's a different tempo to it. There's a different mind state. I got to New York as a point guard, a fast break West Coast point guard. I'm thinking Magic Johnson. I'm thinking, things like that. And when I get there, they're like, oh, wait. Slow down. Walk the ball up. Walk the ball up. Why would I do that? That's how we do it on the East Coast. We play East Coast half-court basketball. And if you look through the league, if you look at the NBA teams, it's pretty consistent. You look at some of the, most of the fast-breaking, high-scoring teams are West Coast teams. Most of the grinded-out, slow-down, half-court basketball teams are East Coast teams. And that's pretty consistent if you look through the league. It's a true statement.
What about what's hip hop and basketball? We're gonna go a little bit off the front. This is some extra footage we're gonna get.
Hip hop and basketball?
How does that mix? Everybody talks about, You know, you gotta have, especially with and one. It's all about the beats, the best, the DJs, the atmosphere, the energy. Hey, tell me a little bit, since you are an and one officially. I don't care. You know what I'm saying? You're associated with and one.
Yeah.
And I want you to tell me how that electricity and everything goes.
Well, I tell you what, and one is really something that really brought basketball to the forefront of people's minds. It was really a quiet thing as far as street ball, and people don't realize how many great talents are really born from street ball. You don't get good in the gym by yourself in the suburbs. You get good when you have to grind it out with tough guys. You get good when the weather's against you, when the lights are going down, when you can't see, when it's raining, when the weather conditions are no good, the wind is up. These are all factors that if you're able to fight through these factors, a busted court, ripped up nets, bad basketballs, if you're able to survive that challenge and take it into the gym, you got it made. It's like, coming up from being homeless and fighting your way to the top and being a millionaire. That's what it's all about. And I think a lot of the best players come from that fundamental hungry place where they're able to use that. They're able to use their life experiences to fuel their ambitions. Because you have to go deep. If you really want to be the best, you have to train when no one else is training. You have to work when everyone else is asleep. You have to be up before they're even awake. The last one to leave the gym, the first one to get there. People say these things, but it's really true. And during those times of question, when it comes time to hit the big shot, it's your personal training and your self-confidence is what's going to win you through that moment. And these are important things. These are all relative to the matrix, to the basketball matrix, I should say.
All right. Okay, we kind of went to street ball, so we'll go the steps a little bit differently.
Although I said nothing about hip-hop.
Nothing about hip hop.
Nothing about hip-hop.
You want to go a little bit further about hip hop?
Let's go a little bit into hip-hop.
Okay, hip hop. How does it relate?
I like that.
To and one in just the sport of basketball. Period. The energy.
I'll tell you what. Originally, hip hop I think was a very positive part of basketball. It was able to close the gaps between, our youth. Really, hip hop is a big thing for our youth and for myself growing up as well. And hip hop and sports tends to kind of walk the same line a lot of times. These days, I think that hip-hop has a negative effect on basketball because people are so concerned. If you look at the new artists, all the new artists are really concerned about is the clothes that they wear, the jewels that they're flashing, the cars that they drive, the women that they can produce. If you look at hip-hop in its original state, they didn't have anything but a Kangol and a mic. That's all they had, and they let their lyrics speak for themselves. They let the knowledge that they were trying to pass on to other people, they let that really speak for who they were. And if you relate that to basketball, really, it's kind of similar. When you look at people like Magic Johnson, who were very flashy, who had a lot of showtime, but were very humble. As soon as he left that court, it's Magic Johnson signing off. You didn't hear about him in the media. You didn't hear about him getting into trouble. You didn't hear about, these guys going in and out of jail. It's the idea that these things are okay that lead the youth into bad situations. If Allen Iverson can get away with going to jail, if Kobe can go to jail, if Michael Vick can fight dogs, if OJ can murder his family, if you can do all these different things, then what's to stop, the young stud coming up who's a star in his basketball community, who's a star at his school? What's to make him believe that he can't get away with all these things? Why shouldn't he be flossy? Why shouldn't he be flashy? Those aren't the things that make up a great basketball player. A great basketball player is made up of substance, not surface.
All right. Okay. Let's break down the steps, and we'll be pretty much done with it. We got a lot of footage here, a lot of footage we can work with. Let's call it the elements of the basketball matrix. The elements. What are the 10 elements of the basketball matrix? We'll call it elements because that's what it is to me. I understand it's the elements, not stages. The elements, the evolution of basketball. Give me you talk about footwork. Or say footwork.
Well, we'll start with footwork.
Element. Okay, hold on. The element of footwork.
You want to use elements, huh?
Yeah. It sounds more.
I think element is a good word to describe these different stages because elements coincide and work with each other. When you look at stages, you're looking at a progressive stage, something that goes in a linear fashion. When it comes to the basketball matrix, it's not something that you're going to learn in a linear fashion. You may decide that footwork is the most important thing for you. Then you may decide that you want to flip to the defensive portion because coach says you're dogging it on D. Maybe your left hand hasn't been so great in the last couple of games and you just need a refresher. Maybe you want to go into the ball handling portion. What's great about the matrix is that each lesson stands on its own. If you just need, let's say for example, improved ball rotation, you can go specifically to that page and look at the ball rotation section. And in just one page, you can get all the information that maybe would take a week to learn. And I think it's important. We can go, and there's different using the word element or you use the word essence. I like essence. I think it kind of goes with the word element because it all kind of goes together. Right now what we have out that's available to see on the website, which is thebasketballmatrix.com, we have some examples of the shooting chapter. Keep in mind, we're not going to give away everything. You're going to have to come out and take a look and get involved to really get all the information. But we want to give you a sample. We want to show you kind of the things that we're talking about. Shooting is what we use as an example. Shooting is exciting. Everybody loves to shoot the ball. Naturally, there's more to it than that. But we go deeper than just the physical mechanics of it. There's mental disciplines. There's psychological processes that you have to go through in order to perform these physical mechanics consistently, and especially during times of question, when the crowd is excited, when your girlfriend's in the stands, when your parents came to see you, when the other team tells you can't do it or you're no good. Those are some of the mental strength that you have to be able to play past these moments and concentrate is going to be vital when it comes down to it. It's what separates great players from good players.
Yo, I think we got enough footage here to do a lot with. All right, we're gonna just break into some silly stuff here. We're gonna do what the heck we want to do here. But this is our time to shine. How you like Oregon?
I like Oregon. Especially while I'm here in Portland, Oregon. I'm working with Jackie Lee Williams, I believe my oldest friend.
Hold on. That's Lee Williams. No one knows the Jackie. We'll have to cut that out.
Lee Jack is what we call him, where we're from. Anyways, I'm with Mr. Williams. We're here in Portland, Oregon. We're shooting on location. And it's particularly interesting to me that we happen to do this interview here in this place. My mom's longtime soulmate, whatever you want to call him, her longtime boyfriend, was actually a former member of the Portland Trail Blazers. I think it's kind of ironic that the beginning of my basketball thoughts lead me here to the pinnacle of my basketball thoughts, back to Portland, Oregon. In fact, we've got some authentic NBA apparel. We've got some stuff that comes straight off the players' backs. I believe we got Walt the Wizard Williams, one of the Portland hometown favorites. We got some of his material. We've got, I've got some original material that I got from the Globetrotters. His name is Ron Teddy Bear Knight, a former Globetrotter, a former Portland Trail Blazer. We've got plenty of that stuff. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to get it on the plane. But you know what? We're going to work with the number 42. We got the Walt the Wizard Williams. Like I said, a hometown favorite. We got some authentic apparel in here. We got some great people, and looking to really make this matrix go.
Basketball Matrix. That's what it's all about, right? Basketball Matrix. Plug it.
Basketball Matrix.
Hold on. You're not hearing me. Plug the Basketball Matrix. Talk about the website a little bit more.
Right. The website's great. The website is going to give you a chance to be able to get some personal information, some personal instruction without me personally being there. I can't be everywhere at once. And these are lessons that I learned through time from lots of other veterans. You know, it pays to be the worst player on the floor sometimes. It really does. You really get a chance to learn what you're good at, what you're not good at. And you have to remember, guys, you really have to be humble and have the ability to learn, to be able to take in information and have the capacity to receive it and also process it. You know, when you watch Kobe next time, take a look at what he's actually doing. Look at his ball movements. Look at his shoulder fakes. Look at the ability of himself to be able to balance on a fadeaway shot. These are all techniques that we cover in the basketball matrix. These are advanced techniques. This is not something that most high school coaches are going to cover. High schools are basically geared toward the fundamentals and keeping everybody on an even playing field. But if you want the advantage, if you want to be able to get to college, if you want to be able to even make it to the pros, the sky is the limit. But you're going to need this information. This is something that I wish I had. This is something that I wish myself and all my friends had, all my family, because, you know, there's a lot of potential out there. There's a lot of untapped potential, a lot of great players that just have to realize that they can do it. You can do whatever you set your mind to. Sometimes you just need a little help.
All right. We're doing this freestyle right now. We're having as much fun as we could possibly have.
Freestyling, buttballing. Why don't you ask me about my own skills?
Okay.
Yeah.
Hold on.
I'm
Come on,
not
Mr.
talking.
N1.
Well, I'm not just talking.
You got a little game?
Yes, sir. I was actually featured on the 2004 N1 tour. It was based in Las Vegas. I was also featured on G4 Media in the Street Ball Classic special. I did play some college basketball. I played 4 years of high school basketball, and I was the captain all 4 years. Am I Michael Jordan? No, sir. But I've learned a lot from that stage, and there's a lot of things that are contained in the matrix that you can't learn from a basketball coach. There's a lot of science to sports that people don't always recognize or really reach into. But on a side note, I want you guys to go ahead and check out the website. You'll see some demonstrations from myself. You'll see me hitting some shots and doing some things so that you know that I'm not just, up here talking. You got to be able to back up what you say. So all you guys out there talking head, you might want to come get the basketball matrix so you can back it all up so your friends won't have anything to say to you.
All right. You know what? That's a wrap. That's a wrap. I don't think there's anything else that needs to be said right now. That is a wrap. I'm going to let my 10 seconds go so we can use this for later on. I'm going to let this go. This is Lee Will, representing P-Town right now, because that's where I'm at. It's where your head is, where your bed is. It's where it's at. We're here right now. Hey, thebasketballmatrix.com. You got to go check it out on the internet. You guys always look at YouTube and all that stuff. Why can't you check out this site right here? Check it out, basketballmatrix.com, and type it in just as it is with the .com on it, and you'll come see us. We got plenty of footage for you, baby. I'm out. Peace.
Peace.